Welcome back to Hasbro's Hide. Oneleaf.ai contacted me and said, would you like to try out our Commander NV400 night vision scope? And at no obligation, no cost to me, they were very cool about it. So I said yes. Now, there are a lot of videos out there on YouTube. And so if you want to see an unboxing and step-by-step how to go through using it, you can look for those videos. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to use it on an application, actually several applications. So I'll take it out and I'll show some basic features once we start using it. But we're going to use it on different rifles and just see how it behaves, how the auto zero works. It has a feature to where you can do a one-shot zero. So we'll see how that works on different calibers and different rifles and different conditions. So we'll use it in daytime. We'll use it in nighttime. We'll do a series of different rifles, like I say, and try it out. So let me reposition the camera here real quick, and I'll show you the first rifle we're going to put this on. All right, the first one I decided to test with is not so much of a recoil shock test for this scope, but more of a challenge for seeing certain things at dusk or at night. And so this is a Ruger 1022 that has been upgraded. It has an Archangel stock, has a BX trigger, and then it has a Feddersen 18-inch barrel. Now this, and it has a loop-holed scope on it currently. We're going to change that loop-holed scope off and put on the Oneleaf scope, Commander scope on this thing and see how it does. Now, what's the challenge? Well, the challenge right now that everybody's shooting is Day at the Ranges Captain America challenge. And so I'm going to take this out and we'll start shooting at dusk. And we'll shoot right on into nighttime and see how we see and how we score. Now I'll shoot it, say at dusk, or at least we have enough daylight. I should be able to see clearly without having to use night vision. But then with night vision, we'll see if we can still see this target and shoot it and then check the scores between the two. And so that should be quite a fun challenge. So let me get, again, repositioned, and I'll get this scope mounted. Can't show that on YouTube. Mounting a scope is too dangerous. But I'll get this mounted and we'll see how it looks on the rifle. All right, so we got our scope all mounted up. We used a Wheeler professional leveling system, and so the way it works is you put a level on your rail or on your receiver, then you have a clamp-on level that goes on into the barrel. So once this is level, you reference the one, the clamp-on, back to this, get them agreeing, then you take this off, put your scope on, and then you can put your level on your scope and check it out. Now it gets you really, really close. Now, purist, right, you're going to want to see the plumb bob and all that stuff hanging out in a distance. But I found this to be a really good system, and it just does a good job. I just don't use plumb bob anymore for that. Now, on this scope, I'll tell you that this turret was not as accurate as this turret is for being level to the scope. And so this is a, an electronic thumb wheel, but this one is a screw-on cap. It actually has a magnet, or it felt like a magnet underneath here because it was grabbing the level a little bit as well. So nonetheless, put it on here, looks good, and in the reticle anyway, everything looks good. So we'll find out more when we get to the range. So it's really, really hot right now. In 2 days, it's supposed to have a break in the temperature, and we'll take it out. And what we'll do is we're going to shoot Day at the Ranges Captain America Challenge. And so we got to first get it on paper. So we'll start just before sunset. We'll go through dusk shooting this, and we'll continue right on into the dark and see how well we do with reading the target, illuminating the target if we need to here, and shooting that contest. We'll start off with some reasonably cheap ammo because I don't want to waste a lot until we really figure out how well it's doing. But then this gun shoots really, really well. Now this is our 1022. It's in an Archangel stock, not an expensive stock, but it's decent enough. A BX trigger that's just really, really good, and a Feddersen barrel. And this Feddersen barrel, if you don't know Feddersen barrels, check them out. Really, really good for the money. And this is an 18-inch version of it. So really happy with this setup. It shoots very well. And so we'll take this thing out to range, see how we do in just a couple days. All right, here's our Oneleaf back again on our Ruger 1022 custom rifle, the Feddersen barrel and BX trigger. So I did the one-shot zero, and sure enough, it works. I'm not sure how well that'll show through the camera. I think it wasn't recording quite when I did it, but I showed right afterwards. But so far, working pretty good. Now, it's probably hard to see because the GoPro will lighten this up, but it's definitely dusk, and I'm having no problem seeing. In fact, I still have it in day mode with the sunshade on the front here, restricting the light. So that's still working great. When we start to get a little darker, I'll switch it to what they call starry mode, and we'll keep shooting these targets, and then we'll do it in true night mode and shoot the target again. So I think it's pretty close. So I'm going to switch ammo to the one I really want to shoot here, and then we'll shoot a target and we'll see how well we do. And then we'll shoot it again when it gets darker, and we'll shoot it again when it's totally dark and compare our targets. All right, we are definitely at dusk. Well, just at the end of daylight, maybe not quite dusk, but I did as fast as I could. We're going to shoot SK Standard Plus in our Pt1 barreled 1022 and see how we do with the first target. Should be reasonably close with this. I'm not going to say we're going to be exact, but we're going to be seeing just how repeatable we're really going to be here on these targets as we move through the light and into the night. So we're going to shoot the bottom left-hand target first. Here comes the wind. All right, a little bit low. I'm holding off and compensating. I probably should just re-zero it, but we'll keep shooting. I just hate to stop there. I know about where to hold it, I think. That looks good. Oop, low. I don't think that was me. Again, took off. I think I need to switch to the off the bipod bag here to the rest. Ah, where'd that come from? If I watch the video and find out it was me. Oop, that one's low. All right. I don't think that's too bad, especially for a first time using the night vision scope. So, oh, wouldn't you know it? I didn't have the scope recording. All right, we'll take a walk out here and see how we did in our first target. I'm not sure how much recorded on that first one. I screwed up the scope recording for sure. Through the scope recording. We'll fix that for the next one though. All right, there we go. I don't think I'll score too terribly bad. Several fives on there, at least a couple. So yeah, we'll check it out when we get back to the bench. How about that? One shot zero I basically held right here, shot, and the bullet hit here. So you take it gives you a red and white cursor. You keep the white cursor in the middle. You keep turning the menu dial till you get the red cursor onto there and save it. And sure enough, it's right on target in here. Well, this is at 25 yards, so we'll move it out here in a second. Yeah, I think that works. All right, pretty cool. Let's move it on out. Zoomed in this much, it's a little fuzzy because I'm really low light. I mean, very low light. All right, so that's 3 on that, or 2 on that. I don't know, 3, whatever it is. Let's send one out here, and then that'd be enough to warm it up. That's 100 yards back there, by the way. All right. And we'll switch our mag out and see how we can do on our target. Whoa, big flyer. Don't really know how SK shoots, Standard Plus shoots real good in this rifle. We're just trying it out. Kind of all over right now. Edison barreled 1022s, an original Ruger receiver, has a Ruger bolt, Feddersen 18-inch barrel, and a BX trigger. Archangel stock. Fairly budget. Oops. Shouldn't have done that. Need to switch mags. Oh, big flyer. I think that one took off too. It's hard to tell. It might be in the... Nah, I think it broke that 3 ring over there. Yeah, looks like they're going left now. Oh, low now. SK, you're killing me. Maybe we'll shoot some center X in it next. Well, there's a score. It's not a great score, but, you know, I guess it's okay. All right, that's that. Maybe it's a bullseye. Maybe I can't see it either. All right, let me put a couple more rounds in here, and we'll see where we're hitting when we shoot this target. High and left, so maybe that is the trend. Let's bring it over here and see. Got a deer running across the background there. Got to get this done and watch for them. Yep, that's closer. Interesting. Probably can see it in the scope. Just a little bit of heat coming off the barrel there, distorting the image. that's better. We'll see how that one scores. But yeah, it sure likes Lapua Center X better. I probably need to adjust the 0, but for tonight, I'm not going to mess with that. I need to do it at a regular range session. Alright, it's pretty dark. Not quite as dark as the other video, but it's really dark. But you can see down there our target, our camera blinking, etc. is this recording. But the two targets down below, we'll zoom in on them here, but you're not just, from what we did the other night, you're just not going to be able to see very well the actual target image on the printed image, because it's really not, you know, it's so close to the white. You can see it there, but it's so close to the white that it's difficult to see. So we're getting a little bit of a reflection there into this from the GoPro, believe it or not. But yeah, not terrible there, but I'm sorry, actually that's the laser rangefinder lighting that thing up. I think I can turn that off. I believe I'm capable. Maybe I'm not. I'm still learning this menu, sorry folks. But yeah, you can see that there, but to shoot it confidently, you know, hit those targets, it'll be a guessing game. So that's okay. We'll do it, but it's probably not going to be a very good result here. You got to really keep count. I do not have the IR illuminator on because it just washed this target out. It does a good job, believe it or not. It looks so simple. It's like, how can that thing work? But it does work. Just not against a paper white target. Kind of take a look around. We'll see if those deer come out again back there. Now turn on the IR illuminator here. You can really see that thing. I mean, it lights it up pretty neat. It does help brighten things up way out at a distance. Now that's 400 yards all the way to the back. That square right there is 300. And right here is a steel target at 400. From this bench position, which is different than the other night, you can't quite see the steel real well. But I'll cut in some of the video from the first night and let you see that. It's pretty cool how far, and this is the lowest of the, oh no, I'm sorry, that's the highest of the illuminator setting. There it is, turned off. So you see you get a different picture. In its own right, it's pretty cool. Let me do a little focusing here. Out there at distance. Well, those targets there are 200 yards. See if we can light them up. There you go. And that gives you another idea then of what that looks like. Adding infrared illuminator seems to help. There, it's off. Look at that buck. Yep, there's the infrared illuminator. Look at those eyes. Insects are attracted a little bit to the infrared. Interesting. That's infrared turned off. Now that is around 300 yards where you see that deer. There's a marker out there that tells us that. All the way to the back of this range is 400 yards. That's max illuminator again. Zoom back out a little bit. Again, I'm shooting in a safe direction. I think I'll ring the steel here a little bit, see if I can scare them off though. Definitely hitting the steel, so no danger or anything. Boy, what a fun time at the range, but it got dark out there. Hopefully some of the footage I cut in will show that. The very, very end, I mean, it was dark as dark gets. It's down in a valley to begin with, but there was cloud cover, no moon, no stars. And it got really, really dark for the last one. You're going to see that in the results a little bit. But I got some really cool images of the deer and big buck. Boy, people were talking about there was a buck they'd seen occasionally back there. And boy, you can see in the video, yeah, he's a nice one. But anyway, let's talk about our targets a little bit. So when I got to the range, I had not even fired a round with this scope on this rifle. And so I spent some time trying to figure out the menu and just make sure. And in fact, it was really easy. I didn't even have to break out the manual. I just sort of looked through it, and it's fairly intuitive. So what you do is when you get on paper, or you fire and just get something even close, there's a menu option where you can choose to do a one-shot zero. And so the bullet hit here. This was my aiming point, and then the bullet hit here. And so it has two cursors that come up at that point. One is white and one is red. So the white one you hold on the middle of your aiming point, and you move the red one until you hit that. And then you say okay, and you save it to a position. It's got several you can save, and boom, it aligns you right up. And what was really cool was I did this, right? And then right there is the next target. And it was just tearing the center of the target out. And so, you know, I mean, the gun is good. It's not that, but I just think it's amazing. And then it held its position, and it held its accuracy from there on through the rest of the night. So it's pretty cool. And the cursor display, it's all digital, right, on the screen inside of this thing, but it is really clear, really nice. And as you zoom in, it doesn't get grainy, it doesn't get fuzzy. The cursor stays really, really nice. And so what were the results? Well, I had a lot of fun shooting this. I shot this in quote unquote daylight, right? But it wasn't really daylight. As most people will call it already dusk, but it was, you know, still reasonable light. I could shoot with a regular scope, no problem. And so that was this target. Now this is Day at the Ranges, Captain America target challenge that's going on right now, in fact. And so it was pretty cool. You know, a 75 is not going to win this, but for just putting a scope on a gun and going out and shooting it, it's not too bad. And being a semi-auto, now this gun shoots better, but it's not like my high-end, fully custom 1022 or my CZ 457 with the Lilja barrel. Those shoot quite a bit better than this, but this still shoots really well and can shoot with them pretty close. But nonetheless, a 75 3-star is not a terrible score. Okay, top score I believe in semi-auto right now is 86. I could be wrong there. It could be within a couple points of that. And so 75 on the first target, just getting used to the scope, working with the zoom, I'm pretty happy. So that's not too bad, right? So as we went then to what I would say was dusk. Now this was what most people call dark, and it was right on the ragged edge of whether you could use a regular scope or not. I shot this, and we went up a few points. And so we got a 77 2-star on that. And so it's just showing it's consistent. So even in very low light, it was doing a very good job picking up the light and amplifying it. And I did not have to use the IR illuminator at this point in the shooting. And so that's pretty good. So basically no change between daylight and really, really dusk. I mean, getting close to staying dark, but just a little bit of visible light. Well, from then I waited and I waited until it got completely dark. And you can see that in the video there. It just goes black. The GoPro couldn't even see anything, and the camera at the target couldn't see anything. The only thing that saw anything was our scope. And well, here's the problem. When you shoot a white paper, it's just blurred white. You couldn't hardly see anything. You could see that in the video. I could barely tell. In fact, I started shooting, and that's what these marks were for here, these X's. I started shooting at this target because I go, oh, I could see the centers, and what I thought were centers were holes I'd shot on this target, on the wrong target, because you could see the dark hole going through it. So then I went back and I shot basically guessing where it was going to be with these two side by side, trying to come over and shoot, because it was completely wiped out. And there's several shots there where I'm adjusting the IR illuminator, intensity, etc. It just doesn't work for this kind of a thing on a white piece of paper like this. Just washed it all out. But you could still certainly see, and you could see that with the animal pictures I had in there. So for hunting and things like that at night, it is perfectly good. I mean, I could have easily made a shot all the way out. The back of that range was 400 yards, and I could have easily made out enough of an animal to safely shoot if I had the gun set up to do that, which I have several that could do that. You know, you could do it. You could do it with good efficacy and not, you know, be just wounding an animal. But certainly 300 was easy. 250, where those deer were, easy. 200. And then you see the 100-yard steel left and right of this thing were perfectly clear. It was a really, really nice picture. So 21 anyway, with just me guessing where it is. But hey, I did get 1 star by guessing. We're talking about blind luck. So first impressions of the Commander NV400 by Oneleaf. It's pretty cool. It's a neat technology. It certainly works at night very well. Positives. I really like the clarity when you look through the scope, the clarity of the image, the clarity of the crosshairs, the options you have on those crosshairs. I ended up switching mine from red to green. I could just see it a lot better with my vision. The quality of the recording, pretty good. Pretty good. The IR illuminator, it looks just like a flashlight, and that's basically what it is. It's an overgrown flashlight with a certain wavelength that it's transmitting. Works. I mean, I would have bet money that that's more of a gimmick. No, it works. It really does work. I didn't play too much with a laser rangefinder at night. I should have, but I just was doing other things, focusing on trying to get a good image and trying to focus on shooting. But we'll play the laser rangefinder in the next videos we do on this. Things I don't like: the recording. Not the quality of the recording, but the way it does it. You can choose it to go for 10 minutes. You can tell it to auto record, which will pick up movement, recoil, things like that, and start recording. But I had lots of trouble in getting it to record when I wanted to record. So it's probably just my lack of knowledge and interface. Literally, it was the first time to the range and me trying to figure it out. You know, so I'll work on that a little bit more, and you know, other people are able to do it. It's probably just me. But you know, it's like I lost the first video while I'm shooting. I lost the dusk video while I'm shooting, and I didn't get the night video while I'm shooting. I got bits and pieces on just after it, but during it I thought it was recording. I went to shoot and it wasn't there. And so it may be because I turned on the auto record and was then also trying to turn it on here, and I might have messed up that sequence. So we'll play with that. I know it works. I know it works well. Getting the micro SD card out of here, easy. So no big deal on that. Zeroing, like I mentioned, it's a beautiful thing. I can't believe it worked as well as it worked. Just really, really a cool feature. So, you know, a little bit of negative, and that's probably just me learning how to record with it. When I zoomed in at really, really dark, yeah, it went really, really grainy, right? But you kind of expect it, right? It's low light, it's gathering as much as it can, and it was really dark. I think on any other night, if you had a moonlit night, it's going to be fantastic. Stars, any kind of ambient light around you, it's going to be fine. But I wanted to try as dark as it gets, and that night was really, really dark down in that valley. And so when you zoomed out, it was perfectly fine. But of course, I'm trying to shoot a target and trying to see these little things. I'm zoomed way in, and it just went really, really grainy. But it's the limit of the technology. No big deal. You're not going to hunt, you know, at 26 power. You're not going to hunt there typically. And so you back it off into the 20 and less, really 15, 16, something in that range. Perfectly good, perfectly clear, and perfectly usable. So I'm very happy. It's a very cool scope. I'm going to continue to test it. We started off with just 22, and I hate to take it off this gun, but I may shoot 1 or 2 more videos with it on the 22, just doing some target shooting. But then I'm probably going to put it on some other guns, hunting calibers. And comment down below what you'd like to see it on. So they say it's rated up to 308. I could put it on a 308, but I don't know if I really want to do that. If I get a 6.5 Creedmoor, same kind of thing. You know, it's going to work. It's not a big deal. I'm thinking more hunting applications for hog. And so I have a 6.5 Grendel, can put it on there. I have a 300 Blackout, can put it on there. I have a 6mm ARC, can put it on there. I have 3 different 5.56s we can put on, so we'll probably put it on one of those. And then you know, there's a few others like that. I could put it on a 9mm PCC as well, just to have some fun with a 9mm at night and see what that looks like. Not that you necessarily would hunt with a 9mm, at least not at very far ranges. But comment down below what you'd like to see it on, and if I can accommodate it, I will. Oh, 300 Hammer. Yeah, 300 Hammer may be the first time I put it on there, because that's an awesome caliber. I love that gun, and you know, it's purpose built for killing hogs, wild boar. So I hope you like this. It's just my first round at using this thing. I'm going to try to use it on different guns and try to get some in the field applications. We'll talk a little bit about the features and things as we use it, but I really don't want this to be, you know, an unboxing video or here step-by-step how-to. There's too many other videos on this scope for that. But we're going to have some fun using it and just seeing how well it does in different scenarios and different lighting conditions. If I get the chance, maybe we'll go get some coyotes with it. We'll see if I get that chance. They're definitely here in the area of the country where I'm at, but they're not as, you know, big a problem as they would be out in the west. But nonetheless, this thing is awesome so far. I think we'll see how it holds up. We'll see how it does in some other conditions, but You check their website for how much this thing costs, but for the money, would I buy it if I was going hog hunting? Absolutely, from what I see so far. But we'll see how it does over time before we make a complete judgment. But so far, good. If you like this, please give me a like and subscribe. Comment down below what caliber you'd like to see it next, and we'll catch you later.